she's someone that I plan on getting married again. I want Nicole to be happy. That's what I want.
At 63, Tom Cruise was expected to still be the indestructible force Hollywood had leaned on for decades. The man who outran storms, survived explosions, and clung to aircraft mid-flight. But then came the moment no stunt, no script, and no studio could prepare him for. Friends noticed the shift first, the slowed step, the quiet wince, the rare silence from a man who never stopped moving. So, what happened to the world's greatest action star? And why are fans heartbroken after seeing what he's facing now? The quiet alliance against Tom Cruise no one expected. Tom Cruise's breakup with Ana de Armas has created a wave of reactions that no one in Hollywood saw coming. Usually, when a major celebrity couple ends things, everyone keeps quiet, avoids the drama, and waits for the story to fade. But this time, something completely different happened. Something that surprised even longtime Hollywood insiders. Two of Cruise's former wives, Nicole Kidman and Katie Holmes, stepped forward to show support for Ana de Armas. Their unexpected gesture has not only shocked fans, but has also brought a strange sense of unity around a woman who has only recently been connected to Cruise. According to sources who spoke to Radar Online, both Kidman and Holmes reached out because they were genuinely concerned about Ana after the split. They knew exactly how emotionally heavy a relationship with Cruise could become, and they recognized the signs of someone going through a difficult time. One insider explained, "Ana has been receiving support from many people since the breakup, but the biggest shock for her was finding out that both Nicole and Katie are standing by her." Another source added more context, saying that both Nicole and Katie had been through extremely tough periods during and after their marriages to Cruise. Because of that shared experience, they felt they understood Ana's situation better than most people. Still, Ana never imagined she would receive kindness from women who had once been such a central part of Cruise's life. The insider said Ana told her close friends that she felt honored just knowing these two Hollywood icons even thought of her. Ana de Armas and Tom Cruise had reportedly begun dating earlier this year, and their relationship attracted attention because Cruise seemed unusually serious about her. But insiders claim Ana ended things in October, not long after whispers spread that Cruise might be preparing to propose. The sudden pressure, combined with the intense spotlight that follows Cruise everywhere, may have played a major role in Ana's decision to walk away. What makes the situation even more interesting is the way Nicole Kidman chose to reach out. According to one insider, Kidman didn't contact Ana directly. Instead, she passed her message through Reese Witherspoon, who is a friend of Ana's. The insider revealed, "Nicole sent word through Reese to let Ana know she's available if she ever wants to talk or even just hear a friendly voice." This careful, indirect approach suggests Kidman wanted to offer support without making things awkward or adding more attention to Ana during a sensitive moment. Katie Holmes, on the other hand, is also said to be quietly cheering Ana on. Though she hasn't spoken publicly, insiders say Holmes feels protective of Ana for the same reasons Kidman does. Both women understand how overwhelming life around Cruise can become, and both seem to feel it's important for Ana to know she's not alone. As things settle, people close to Ana say she is genuinely grateful for the unexpected encouragement. She hasn't decided whether she will take them up on their offer to talk, but simply knowing she has their support has brought her a bit of comfort. Breakups are hard enough on their own, but dealing with one under Hollywood's bright and unforgiving spotlight can feel even worse. For Ana de Armas, receiving support from two women who once lived through similar storms is both surprising and reassuring. And for Hollywood, it is a rare moment where empathy not rivalry, takes center stage. But what does the bigger picture look like? Let's delve into the details of the faith, marriages, and heartbreaks that define Tom Cruise. An entangled faith. Behind the rush of fame and the thrill of constant motion lies something far more complicated. A maze of belief, longing, and quiet heartbreak. It is a place where faith promises clarity and healing, but sometimes gives loneliness instead. This was the world Tom Cruise stepped into when his first wife, Mimi Rogers, introduced him to Scientology in the early 1990s. Mimi, who was 6 years older and raised deeply within the church, believed strongly in its teachings. She saw its practices, especially auditing, as powerful tools for self-discovery and healing. When she spoke about how Scientology helped Tom overcome his childhood dyslexia, he embraced the belief wholeheartedly. For him, the church seemed like light after years of personal struggle, a doorway to confidence and order. They had married in 1987, just as Top Gun had turned Tom into a global superstar. But as his devotion to Scientology grew, the difference between them widened. Mimi wanted breathing space. Tom wanted structure. Mimi would later say that Tom needed a religion more than he needed a wife, a sharp truth that hinted at the tension consuming their marriage. By 1990, the bond had snapped, and divorce became inevitable. Scientology didn't loosen its grip on Tom, it tightened. He formed a close alliance with David Miscavige, the church's powerful leader, a friendship that strengthened the organization's reach into Hollywood. Tom became one of its loudest champions. But with that came controversy. A 2004 leaked video showed Tom speaking with almost explosive passion about Scientology's mission. His public criticism of actress Brooke Shields for using antidepressants triggered massive backlash. And on the set of War of the Worlds, his efforts to promote Scientology reportedly strained his relationship with Steven Spielberg. Slowly, the faith that promised clarity began isolating him, shaping every friendship and turning even love into a kind of emotional battlefield. Then Nicole Kidman entered his life. They met filming Days of Thunder in 1990. She was a fiery, red-haired 23-year-old. He was Hollywood royalty. Their chemistry was instant. They married on Christmas Eve and built a family, adopting Isabella and Connor. They acted together in Far and Away, and later in Stanley Kubrick's unsettling Eyes Wide Shut, a film that eerily mirrored the cracks forming in their real-life marriage. To the public, they looked perfect. But behind the curtain, Nicole struggled. Scientology's constant presence, its monitoring, expectations, and spiritual oversight weighed heavily on her. In 2001, Tom abruptly filed for divorce. Nicole was blindsided, grieving both the marriage and a pregnancy she lost during that painful period. Their children eventually aligned with Tom and the church, while Nicole withdrew to Australia, later wondering aloud whether Tom ever truly stepped out of his role and showed her his real self. After Nicole came Penelope Cruz, his co-star in Vanilla Sky. Warm, independent, and Buddhist, she softened him in ways fans noticed. But her freedom-loving personality eventually clashed with Scientology's demands. After 3 years, they drifted apart quietly in 2004. Then came Katie Holmes. Their romance erupted like a storm. One moment they were filming, the next he was famously jumping on Oprah's couch, overwhelmed with excitement. They married in a spectacular Italian castle ceremony in 2006, and soon after came their daughter Suri, born under Scientology's silent birth tradition. But as time went on, Katie felt controlled and cut off from her Catholic roots. In 2012, she planned a sudden, strategic exit, securing custody of Suri and shielding her from the church. Tom, who reportedly learned of the divorce through the media, agreed to pay $400,000 annually until Suri turned 18. Now, new whispers swirl. Reports in 2025 hint that Tom's supposed split from Ana de Armas, sparked by on-set chemistry and cooled by rumors of her flirting with Lewis Hamilton, marks yet another chapter in his complicated search for love. True story or tabloid fantasy? No one knows. But the question remains, can a man who conquers entire worlds on screen ever find a love he won't lose off screen? How was Tom Cruise's early life? Let's dive into the details of how a legend was forged. From shadows to spotlight. When born on July 3, 1962, Tom Cruise, then known as Thomas Cruise Mapother IV, entered the world in a struggling Catholic home where hope often felt like a stranger. He was the only boy among 4 children, raised in a family forever battling poverty and frustration. His father, an electrical engineer who rarely held a stable job, carried a storm inside him. When it broke violently, through sudden bursts of anger that left Tom bruised on the outside and wounded much deeper on the inside. His mother, once an amateur actress and later a teacher, became the quiet anchor. She held the family together with determination, gentle faith, and a strength she never boasted about. But for young Tom, home was not a place of rest. It was a war zone where he learned early that showing weakness could invite domination and pain. When he turned 12, Tom's world shifted again. He was diagnosed with dyslexia. Words refused to sit still on the page. They twisted, flipped, and mocked him. School became a daily test of embarrassment. Classmates' jokes hurt him, but nothing stung like his father calling him a failure. That one word buried itself in Tom's chest, but instead of breaking him, it sparked a quiet fire, one that whispered, "I'll show you." The family's constant moving, 15 schools in 12 years, made life feel even more unstable. Each new beginning meant fresh loneliness. But in that emptiness, Tom found something unexpected: acting. When he stepped on stage, he wasn't the struggling boy from a chaotic home. He was fearless. Acting didn't just let him escape, it allowed him to create a new version of himself. Everything changed when Tom was 14. His mother finally walked away from the abuse, gathering her children and leaving the chaos behind. Tom followed her without ever looking back. Years later, when his father died, he didn't attend the funeral. Still, the shadow of that painful relationship followed him, pushing him to take control of his life with relentless determination. Tom tried to live a normal teenage life: sports, drama, even time in a Franciscan seminary. Faith appealed to him, but silence didn't. He craved something louder, something brighter. When his mother remarried and life grew a little steadier, Tom took every odd job he could find, saved his money, and bought a bus ticket to New York in the early 1980s. He arrived with almost nothing except hunger to rewrite his story. His film debut in Endless Love in 1981 was tiny but promising. Taps followed, revealing a young actor with raw emotional force. Then came 1983. Risky Business turned him into a phenomenon overnight. The sliding scene, the music, the attitude. Suddenly, Tom Cruise was everywhere. But it was Top Gun in 1986 that launched him into superstardom. As Maverick, he embodied fearlessness and cool rebellion. The film made over $350 million, shaped fashion trends, and cemented his place as Hollywood's golden boy. Yet Tom wanted more than fame. He wanted depth. He found it in Born on the 4th of July in 1989, transforming himself into Vietnam veteran Ron Kovic. The performance earned him a Golden Globe and an Oscar nomination, proving he was a serious actor. Hit after hit followed, but 1996 brought his greatest leap. With Mission Impossible, Tom didn't just star, he produced. The franchise exploded into a global force, earning over $450 million and giving him something priceless: control. From a dyslexic boy in a broken home to one of Hollywood's most powerful figures, Tom Cruise's life reveals a remarkable truth. Sometimes the hardest pain becomes the strongest fuel. At what point did Tom Cruise get to the spotlight? What was his journey to stardom like? What challenges did he face in his quest for success? Let's find out. Daring heights. What truly pushes a man to hang off skyscrapers, cling to the side of a speeding airplane, or jump off a cliff when computers could easily fake every second? For Tom Cruise, the answer is simple. Danger is the soul of real storytelling. He believes audiences can sense honesty, and the only way to give them that heart-racing feeling is to face the danger himself. His Mission Impossible series, running for almost 30 years, has become more than a film franchise. It is his personal declaration that fear can be challenged, limits can be broken, and cinema can still shock the world. From the first movie's nerve-tightening wire-suspended break-in to his scorching climb up the Burj Khalifa in Ghost Protocol in 2011, with no stunt double and a no safety net, Tom has built a career on defying the impossible. In Rogue Nation in 2015, he gripped the side of an Airbus as it lifted into the sky at over 400 kilometers per hour. In Fallout in 2018, he performed a real 25,000-foot halo jump, something even elite soldiers train months for. And in Dead Reckoning in 2023, he drove a motorcycle off a mountain cliff, letting the wind swallow him before opening a parachute. By the time The Final Reckoning hit theaters on May 23, 2025, earning warm reviews and bringing in $598.8 million worldwide, Tom had once again raised the bar. The film mixed intense practical chases with a rogue AI enemy, reflecting Tom's own ongoing battle with invisible pressures and expectations. Every movie became a mirror of the man himself, fighting, sprinting, refusing to break. To Tom, this isn't carelessness, it's almost a personal belief system. He once admitted that confronting danger directly makes the screen feel alive. Even at 63, he is still piloting jets, performing underwater sequences that require holding his breath for more than 6 minutes, and managing film sets with the precision of a military commander. He barely sleeps, avoids parties, and commits fully to the craft. People who work with him often whisper that he operates like a machine, sharp, focused, and allergic to anything good enough. His contracts are legendary, too. He negotiates not just big salaries but slices of the box office, often earning between $70 to $100 million for a single movie. With a net worth above $600 million, he owns properties across Beverly Hills, Colorado, Florida, and the English countryside. His garages hold vintage cars, and in the skies, he pilots his own Gulfstream and aerobatic aircraft, literally steering his own destiny. Top Gun: Maverick in 2022 proved his lasting power. Bringing in $1.4 billion at a time when theaters were struggling, it reminded the world why big-screen movies matter. Fans saw a 60-year-old man trick time itself. Films like Jack Reacher in 2012, Edge of Tomorrow in 2014, and Oblivion in 2013 showed his range, but action remains his kingdom. However, Wearing the crown of control comes with weight. Hollywood knows his perfectionism, his intense reactions, his demanding expectations, but also the unmatched results. In November 2025, at the Governor's Awards, Tom finally received an honorary Oscar. The room erupted as Andra Day called him a genius and a kind human. It was a long-awaited celebration. Yet, a question still lingers in Hollywood's halls. Is Tom Cruise the man who saved modern cinema? Or a man forever trying to outrun his own shadows? With a real space film on the horizon, in partnership with NASA and SpaceX, Tom seems ready for the ultimate leap. And maybe that is his true mission, to keep going higher until even fear can't keep up. What legacy would Tom Cruise be remembered for in Hollywood? What lessons are there to learn? Let's dig into the details of the losses and unstoppable force of Tom Cruise. Eternal Pursuit. At 63, Tom Cruise seems to move outside the limits of time itself. In an age ruled by social media noise and quick fame, he still carries the glow of old Hollywood charm, polished, intense, and mysteriously untouched. He avoids online drama, keeps scandals far from his name, and refuses to slow down. His movies have earned more than $11 billion worldwide. He has 3 Academy Award nominations and Golden Globe wins for Born on the 4th of July, Jerry Maguire, and Magnolia. And now, the 2025 honorary Oscar crowns his career with something close to immortality. Younger actors like Glenn Powell openly credit him for reshaping the meaning of discipline in the industry. To fans, he is more than a celebrity. He is living proof that determination and courage can outperform any computer effect or flashy trend. Tom Cruise is the man who will jump off a cliff, cling to an airplane, or run across rooftops just to remind the world what real commitment looks like. But even the brightest legacy can cast its own shadows. Behind the breathtaking stunts and tireless work ethic lies a quieter, more painful story. In 2024, his daughter Suri, now 19 and studying art at Carnegie Mellon, stopped using the surname Cruise and chose Noel instead. For many, it felt like a silent but powerful break, a sign of distance that words never explained. Tom hasn't been seen with her publicly since 2012. Those familiar with Scientology say the religion considers people outside the faith as off-limits, a barrier that may have shaped more than a decade of silence. While he flies between film sets and training facilities, Katie Holmes and Suri have built a calm and steady life in New York. They walk through the city, share coffees, and enjoy a closeness that fame could not damage. Katie's small independent films often include Suri's voice, a gentle reminder that healing can grow quietly, far from the spotlight. Tom's personal world, in contrast, feels strict and almost monastic. His days are filled with intense workouts, carefully planned meals, and a lifestyle free from alcohol, shortcuts, or indulgence. Every year, he sends his famous white chocolate coconut cakes to friends, a small, almost tender tradition that reveals a softer side beneath the discipline. He spends much of his time in Clearwater, Florida, inside Scientology's private community. There he remains an enigma, warm and generous to those close to him, yet demanding and impossible to satisfy when it comes to his work. And as Hollywood shifts, experiments, and embraces streaming and AI, Tom continues to sprint forward. His upcoming space epic hints at yet another boundary he plans to break. But a haunting question lingers. In chasing perfection with such single-minded focus, has he given up the most human reward of all, unconditional love? Tom Cruise remains the last great believer in the pure magic of cinema. a man whose fire can light up screens across the world. Yet as he runs toward the next impossible dream, one mystery remains. Will he ever slow down long enough to look back? Or has the chase become the only thing he truly knows? Tom Cruise isn't just a movie star. He has proven to be a puzzle powered by adrenaline, forever fascinating, forever distant, forever alone. So, do you think Tom Cruise would survive this storm, despite being 63? We would love to hear your thoughts in the comments below. Don't forget to like and subscribe.